He's not the unknown stuntman, though, is he?
He's no Lee Majors. Come on now.
I'm going to have to look at the message.
Watch the Tubi version.
Did you?
Yeah, just because I'd never seen it with dubs.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it threw me off because I'm like,
it's so fucking weird.
It's not his voice. That's not right. You know?
Yeah. No, that's the version that I watched. And I watched it because I had so much going on one day that I had to rewatch it again. And then I was watching it on Friday. So I watched it pretty much a total of 3 times. But I could not, like, stick with it because so many different things happened.
Sure.
At that time. So I'm like, fuck. You know? Commercials that happen, I'd be like, ooh, cool. I got to get up, do this. And then I'm like, ah, shit. What'd I miss? Okay. 10 seconds for Harambe.
Alrighty.
Quite good. Attack warning. Is it for real? Attack warning for bloody real.
Live from Colorado Springs, the Drop Culture Podcast.
Want to confirm, is this an exercise? Roger, copy. This is not an exercise.
Come on, quick, get down. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome, everybody, to the Drop Culture Podcast. This is that podcast where we take that piece of pop culture you forgot about or missed, shine it up real nice, and cram it in your ear holes. This week, me, Dan, and him, Brock. We're going to cover one of my favorite movies. It's something we talked about recently in one of the quick casts. And that's a little movie that, Brock, am I right that you've never seen this movie before?
Never seen it.
This is amazing. There's many times in my life where somebody tells me something like that, and I'm like, I wish I was you. I wish I was watching this again for the first time.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite movies from this time period for sure. And that is Battle Royale.
It's an excellent movie. That's all I got to say. I mean, it was
good.
like, it was really great. And I could see the controversies with it. I can see why it was banned in some places.
It was.
When it came out at the time was just like kind of right after a major United States tragedy happened in our backyard.
Right.
Over here in Colorado. And, you know, it was just... I didn't think it was as violent as most shit that's out there today.
Right.
At all. And I don't even think back for that time period it was that bad.
Right.
I just think it was a subject matter of a school being in that situation.
Right.
Not to give it away just right up front.
No, you're okay.
But, you know, what's really cool, there was, 42 people?
Yeah, 42 kids.
Yeah. Plus you had
42 total. That includes the 2 transfer students.
Right. The 2 transfers. And then you had the teacher. And then you had the other teacher that they briefly show.
Right.
All the other, you know, military dudes. But this really is a really awesome Japanese movie. The way that they were doing it, to where to me, if I would have saw this back then, I would have said the same thing. This is like, there's certain elements of this that you could really identify with Evangelion again.
Sure.
You know, with the military, I'm just seeing that. I'm seeing the countryside. That's stuff that I've seen before, but I never saw it in this kind, in like a regular Japanese movie.
Right.
You know?
In a live action.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like, this is a familiar world that I'm used to. And then whenever it got going, it was like, it's even more familiar. This is anime on screen. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This is anime live action. It's badass. The characters were cool. I watched the dub version, and the dub version has got some shitty dubbing actors.
I've seen this movie a lot, and watching for this was the first time I'd ever seen the dub version. Wow. Wow. And it was I don't mean, whatever. I'm not that guy. But it really took me aback.
Well,
for a moment where I was like, is this the same? I mean, it is.
yeah. Well, Spike Spencer is one of the biggest voice actors for Japanimation,
Right.
just regular animation and everything. When I heard his voice, I was like, God dang, that's Shinji Ikari, And then he played like 4 different parts in the movie.
Sure.
And then the main guy's dub was just horrible. He's like,
Sheila.
Yeah. The main kid.
Yeah.
And whoever dubbed his voice was like phoning it in because he was like, let me go. What do you mean? It was like for real. Did anybody give you direction? It was horrible.
That really threw me off. And I'm really great at foreign names with all my worldly travels. Tatsuya Fujiwara.
Yes.
He was the guy who played Shuya.
Oh, okay.
And his voice definitely, like the dubbing for him was not good.
It was the worst, man. Even the Beat Takashi, his voice was something that I've heard before. Every one of their voices, because immediately whenever it started playing, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Well,
so I looked up the voice actors,
okay.
and I was like, "Oh, they were in this? What?"
See, I didn't know about these voice actors. I didn't. So I have a whole section of my where my movies are all blocked off with stuff right now. So I watched it on Tubi because I was like, "Well, it's on there," and I didn't realize, not even thinking that it would be a dub version. I'm not said I watched it, either way. And just so everyone knows, if you have Amazon Prime, it's free on there right now, too. And I think that's like the regular version.
Yeah, you told me, and then I didn't read it or something.
So then you watched it with commercials like I did?
The whole time.
I'm like, oh, wow, this is weird.
All 3 times.
And it's not really a movie built for commercials.
No, it's not.
Because it's like constantly going. That's the whole idea. Kind of like the Hunger Games, which we'll get into. Because that lady said she'd never even heard of Battle Royale when she made that.
Shit.
And I'm like, come on.
No, come on. I mean,
I'm not saying that
it was a book first, too.
It was, like the year before.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying that you had to know it.
But you knew of it.
But you knew of it. And even if at some point before you were getting too far in this, somebody had to at least tell you.
Well,
you know what I mean? And be like, oh, this is similar, or just something. You know what I mean?
It's like J.K. Rowling saying, you know what? I've never heard of a wizard before. Bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah, come on.
There's a really nice video that I watched earlier today of a guy breaking down how she did not write a great book, that all those Harry Potter books were basically just Star Wars. And it was beat for beat pretty solid. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
The hero's journey.
They're both orphans. They live with their uncle that doesn't really encourage any of that.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
But I wanted to go pick up converters in Tashi Station.
Uncle Owen, I know I'm on probation.
Hagrid. No. That's stupid.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, it was just weird
Come
that they said that they'd never even heard of it, and I thought that was strange.
This was I had heard of this movie all the way back then. Just never watched it. Never had access to it. Then whenever I first got Tubi, it was on there.
Okay.
And it's been in my queue the whole time, and I was just like, when am I going to watch this? And you gave me a copy of it that I can't watch for some reason.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
It's in a weird format. I don't know what it is. I've tried to
probably just need to give you that disc.
Yeah,
let you.
Yeah, that way. So I can actually get the the real version.
Yeah.
With subtitles.
Way to go on this one. Come to find out.
But dude, awesome movie.
So we should give the premise. Let's give a little bit of a premise of the story, and then we'll dig into some of the actors and whatnot. And then after that, we can really dig in. Right. So the premise of the story is these are junior high kids, and it's they've completed their 3 years of junior high, so they're going on a class trip.
This is their 8th grade, right?
Yeah, 8th grade. But we get prefaced early on in the movie about how unemployment's really high, 15%, which is huge. Just so you know, if you don't know about economics, that's not good.
It's pretty big.
And basically the younger generation's disregard for the older generation led them to come up with this
The BR Act.
the BR Act. And basically what they do is, every so often, I don't remember how often they say or if they even do. I don't think it's once a year or anything.
I think it's just random selection.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think they actually do it year after year. Yeah.
But they take one class of kids and put them on an island and make them kill each other. The last person that's alive gets to go home. What?
Yes. What?
And we get that opening with the little girl
Yeah.
and her little... Did she have a bunny or a bear or something?
It was something like that. It was a
Yeah.
stuffed animal, and she's got that evil smile.
I know, and that the reporter lady's even like, oh my goodness, she's smiling. No, she's really smiling.
Yeah. She's got a weird smile. She's actually smiling. And yeah, she was just yelling it the whole time. But that
So that's kind of where we pick up with this movie is what's going on. We do see early on, we see Kitano, the teacher,
yes.
and he's teaching, and like they've written on his board, basically, hey, we're not coming to school because we don't want to.
Yeah.
And one of the main girl character, we'll get into her in a minute, walks in and she's like, oh, I'm running late, and like he just leaves.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really say much.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything at all. He just walks out.
He's like,
And that's when that other kid comes out and cuts his leg
with a butterfly knife.
with a butterfly knife.
She grabs it.
and just hides it.
Right, right. So you're like, huh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know, that's just out of
She
the
was
blue.
like covering for the kid, you know?
Was she covering for the kid?
That's what it seemed like.
Right. She just grabbed it, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, I see,
Right.
why everybody's an asshole. All those junior high kids, shit. They get scared shitless, I guess.
Yeah.
Or they have to,
Yeah. And then we don't see him again. They get a new teacher
Yeah.
because he leaves.
Yeah, he leaves. We don't see them back in class.
Right. We see them on the bus.
Yeah, the next scene is they're on the bus, but what about the main characters? What's his name?
Shuya?
Nanahara.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about his family, like, right?
Yeah.
His father commits suicide.
So his mom had died,
right.
and then he came home to his father who had committed suicide
On his
by
first
hanging
day.
himself. Yes.
First day of junior high?
And he had wrapped like papyrus or toilet paper.
It's toilet paper, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it
like
said,
papyrus.
You can do it. You
Yeah.
can do it.
Yeah, go for it, Shuya. You can do it. What? He's like giving him encouraging words after he hangs himself.
Right. Where he's going to find it. And it was kind of odd. I think that he's planned it out to where he'd be close to the toilet so he could throw up.
Well, yeah, and then like all of a sudden he's like,
As you might be if you found your dad hanging out,
yeah, with an extension cord.
Right.
I mean,
Pretty rough.
Yeah,
Pretty
it was
rough.
pretty crazy, right? So basically, that was the beginning of their third year.
Right.
And that was the beginning wherever the teacher got knifed was the beginning of the third year too.
Right.
So at the end of it, they're doing their class trip.
Right.
So
And
they're
we're going to leave it right there.
Okay.
Because then we'll get into the movie as we go forward.
Okay.
You have a premise of what happens, right? They got to go to an island and kill each other. You got a premise of where we're going to start here in just a moment.
A setup.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you will. So first of all, Kitano, like he was the first person I recognized right away. He's very familiar. He's been in a lot of Japanese movies for sure. But what I really remember him as is Takashi from Johnny Mnemonic.
That's right.
Yeah.
I thought he was also in Kill Bill, but that's not him.
No, well, the girl is.
Yeah, Go-Go.
Yeah.
She's in it. Well, of course, because I think he did some voices too, probably. Something like that.
Yeah, I think he probably has. Tatsuya, who plays our main character, Shuya, he's been in a bunch of stuff. Like, he's well known in Japanese film because he played the main character in Death Note. There's a series of those movies. And I want to say that he also played another big character like that. You know what I mean? Like a pretty popular character over there. So I think he's pretty well known over there. And I thought, again, it was weird watching this version of it because the voice was weird.
Yeah.
But I thought initially, like, I always liked him as a character.
Yeah.
And just for setup, there's a Battle Royale 2. Mm-hmm. I've never seen that. And
No.
I probably don't want to.
Yeah.
Because generally that's how that works for me.
And then it's just more blood and guts.
More cereal for the case, more killing for the case, sake of killing. I don't have a duration for that.
Yeah. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah. But, so he was really good, I thought. And the one guy, our other, Taro, one of the transfer students, the one that's their friend.
Oh, okay.
Save him. Does he not look like, with his bandana, because he's covering his scar, as we find out later, does he not look like he's from every Nintendo game ever?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I was like, he's action guy from all Nintendo games.
Weird coincidence. I'm just finding this out now.
Shogo, right?
Beat Takashi.
Uh-huh.
His birthday is the 18th of January.
Wow.
Today-
Happy birthday, Beat Takashi.
Yes. Yeah, we'll be we're recording it 2 days before, and then you'll be hearing it the day after.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go. Happy
Happy birthday, Beat.
But yeah, no. I thought that was just a weird deal because looking at he was very, very popular.
Yes.
He was very stoic in this, very kind of. There's a lot of really funny things, little bitty things throughout, that you're just like, man, that's pretty funny. This is a straight up movie from a different country.
Oh, for sure.
You're like, whoa.
Our other principal player in this would be what's her last name? Noriko Nakagawa.
Noriko.
She is the companion of Shuya.
She's the one that he's protecting.
Right. Because his friend had a crush on her. But even though when they show that scene of them talking prior, you can tell he has a crush on her too.
Yeah. Because he's like, oh.
And she has a crush on him and brought him cookies that he never got to taste, which she mentions.
Yeah.
And in the dub version, it was kind of inappropriate. Never got to taste those cookies, did you? What?
Whoa.
I was like, hey, that's not the context that I remember.
Yikes.
What other? Let's just talk about some of the notables.
Go-Go.
Go-Go, of course.
Yeah, Go-Go Ibarra.
From Kill Bill.
Or whatever. Go-Go something.
And I'm not even going to try to pronounce her first name. Shiaki? I don't know if that's correct.
Shibiaski? No.
No, what words are you
Oh,
saying?
yeah. Shiaki Kuriyama?
Kuriyama, I know, but I'm just guessing Shiaki.
Yeah, she was a singer, model,
Complete badass in Kill Bill.
Yeah, no shit. And she was because Kill Bill came out 5-6 years after this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she was just a little bit older. She was born in 1984, so she's 37 now.
Okay.
So she was still young.
Yeah.
She was like high school age at this point, kind of playing at junior high.
I think most of them probably.
Yeah. I think
except for the full men that were.
Yeah, I think I read that, most of the students were of the right age.
Yeah.
But there were some that were maybe in their 20s. One was 27.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's get away with that one. I don't know anybody really, honestly, else.
The one other that stands out to me, Mitsuko's character. She was evil as hell.
She was badass, man.
But that was you see why to say her Shabasaki. Yeah, I don't know.
Shibasaki.
That's what I said. The other guy I like a lot was the other transfer student. He is awesome. And very
Yes.
stylistic. It's like this guy was designed by Robert Rodriguez.
No shit. The dude was mean.
Kazuya
Yeah.
was
yeah.
his name in the movie. He has Masanobu Endo. I don't know. I can't pronounce things. It's good that I like Asian movies a lot and I can't pronounce any of their names.
Wow.
The Mirasama Blade.
Yeah. Well, he was one of the older ones.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, and they look it when they come in, both him and Shogo.
Yeah.
When they introduce him, they obviously look older. And like we said, Shogo looks like your Japanese action figure from 1985.
Right. Or every Nintendo game
Ever.
Dude.
Yeah.
Quick moves, everything like that.
Yep.
He's done a lot of stuff, though. I mean, a lot of these people have done a lot of movies.
Most of them have,
Yeah.
actually, yes.
A lot of movies and TVs, they're literally like working steadily.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you want to get into the movie?
Well, let's talk real quick. Budget for this, $4.5 million. And it made over 30 million. So that's a great,
It's like one of the third highest grossing movies in Japan ever.
Is it really?
I think so. Something
Wow.
crazy. You know,
I did not know that.
adjusted for inflation, a whole bunch of shit.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's in that top 10, and if it's not in the top 5, I'm misunderstood.
So as you said, this was based on a book that came out the year prior to the movie, so obviously it took people by storm.
Yeah. Because of course we got Columbine that happened, and that was a major deal for America, and the world.
Yeah.
You know, this happened, and this wasn't like that, but you can tell why it was like, hey, let's put a cap on this shit for a second.
Well, and it does not spare any graphic and gratuity. It leans in.
yeah, no,
sure.
yeah, but it's just like an anime movie.
Yeah.
You know, that shit leans in.
Oh, 100%,
That shit,
yeah.
You're getting heads chopped off, and
Like you said, this was a great live action anime.
right. No, even some of the motions and some of the things that they were doing, some of the regular action, I'm like, oh, even the scenes in the basketball,
Yeah.
even, I mean, I'm literally thinking that this inspiration is all from Evangelion. It's like those students, you know what I
Okay.
mean? How they were doing the flashbacks, how they were doing to where they would flash the certain phrases up on the screen, you know, after everything, or how they would do that. I know that's Japanese, but that's my take on it.
Sure.
You know, that's what
Absolutely.
I interpreted out of it, is like they were like taking that drama instead of, you know, having them in giant, you know, robots, you know, they took that out of that and they just decided to let everybody kill each other. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
You know, the basketball scenes, the court where it's just him with his head down, you know, and the basketball bouncing, you know, and I'm like, everything in this is, I mean, it's great.
Well, not only did that book spawn 2 films, it also spawned, like, I think 3 manga
I could see that.
series.
Yeah.
So, makes sense. Kind of like what you were saying there. And I would say, like, the character that I just mentioned kind of looks like he's designed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He looks like a character out of an anime.
Yeah.
100%. Like his hair, the way they have him, even the scenes, some of the scenes are, you're like,
Whenever
that is an anime scene.
yeah, whenever he's got the sword,
Mm-hmm.
totally. When he's jumping off the roof and you're like, shit.
Yep.
Yep. Just everything.
Or where
that you
he's
saw.
just standing there after he's killed all those people with the machine gun, like hanging out of one arm.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like the cut scene of
Yeah.
that.
And like he kicks the one girl that's down that he just mowed down
Yeah.
with the machine gun and grabs a
Megaphone.
yeah, he's like, I was like,
And then
like,
he just blows her away.
yeah, he was like, God damn. Yeah, so it very, very anime style.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? And also too, I think the version that's on Tubi is a special edition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's because you get a lot of extra things like the requiems and things like that. But yeah, I was like, And you know what too, which I noticed immediately, was the computer graphic blood. that was something that, you know, at that point probably hadn't been used that much. You know, it was still mainly squibs in the U.S.
That's true.
Until they really kind of, they went all out on this. And you could tell it was.
Yeah.
But it was done good.
It was done
you
well,
know?
yes.
Yes. Not to where you're like, ugh. There's just, there's many good things that lead up to the whole, you know?
Absolutely.
So,
as you said, we start on the bus after those first scenes, and we get the scene where we get that little bit of the girl likes him and makes the cookies and makes sure he gets them.
right.
And then that his friends like, oh, she sent me a letter to bring, tell me to come back to school.
Yeah.
And all
You're
that.
the reason. Thank you for letting me come back.
Right.
Thanks for asking me. And like he's been gone the whole school year, but just
Right.
comes for the class trip. What the fuck? Right? Smooch. Goddamn moocher, right?
And then about that time,
Everything goes black, right?
everything goes black.
And he wakes up. The main
Yeah.
dude, what's his name?
Shuya?
Shuya.
Mhm.
Yeah, he wakes up and he's like, what the, it's like they've been traveling all day on the bus and shit. But before that, you get to see all the JSDF
Right.
people
Yeah.
on the side of the road, and they're just driving down this fucking weird road somewhere. And only the dude in the back notices all the people. He's like, oh, that's weird. They're seeing all that stuff, and then the cookie thing happens and the pictures and everything.
Right.
And he wakes up and he's like the only one awake.
And the
Weird.
lady's got the gas mask on, comes over and just knocks him the hell out.
It just takes a like downstrokes him.
Yeah.
Like bam.
The butt end, yeah.
Yeah, because he goes for the cookies.
Yeah. She's like, not today. Those
Yeah.
are my cookies.
Yeah. Give me those cookies, bitch.
And just in case you don't know, JSDF is the Japan Self-Defense Forces, which is also like, that's their armed forces, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're all unified together.
Right. That's another Evangelion thing that I knew from there.
Right.
But anyway,
But
we're
maybe
not
our
talking about
listeners
that.
didn't.
Yeah. We're talking about Battle Royale. So yeah, no, they arrive there and they all kind of wake up in a derelict classroom.
Yeah, there's like some desks around. Some of them are at desks. Some of them are on the ground.
Just like they just threw him in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, put him here. Put him here. Grab him. Just toss him. No.
Put his hand on his ass.
Yeah. Ooh, that's weird. Look at that.
That's why they wouldn't let the U.S. Army do it.
Right,
They'd be making them do stuff and take pictures like Gitmo.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like they got them all like propped up, and they're like,
Look at that.
look at this guy, peace. Yeah, so they all start slowly waking up, and they're in this dark classroom, right?
Right.
And you see the two other people in the back, which of course you don't know that they're transfer students or
Not
anything.
yet, yeah.
You just get to see that they're in different clothes.
Right.
Though the rest of them are in their regular school outfits, school uniforms, blah, blah, blah.
But they also have a necklace on.
Yeah. They kind of notice, they're like, what the... Because he's one of the first ones to wake up, too.
Yeah, like he consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like he's got a weak constitution or something like that for drugs. I don't
Wouldn't
know.
he have a strong constitution?
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
The reverse.
Wait a minute.
Wait a
Reverse
minute.
that.
He doesn't like sleep. He's got a weak constitution for sleep. Okay. Anyway, yeah, he wakes up and everybody else starts to wake up and they're all like, "What? Where are we?
Right.
Is it nighttime? What's going on?" And then all of a sudden the lights pop on and guess who it is?
Kitano.
Mm-hmm. He's come in
Their
to.
old teacher.
He's like, "Hey,
And he's got a couple army dudes with him.
right." And he writes on the blackboard,
Yes.
BR, and then he has a Japanese character.
Right.
So any of you guys ever heard of this? And they're like, no. He's like, education system.
That's what's wrong with you kids. He does a lot of that.
Yeah.
Kids.
Totally serious, totally fucked up. And he's like, okay, you were picked by random selection to come here and you're going to kill each other.
Well, I like when they cart out the other teacher.
Yeah.
And he's like, he didn't agree. He like pulls it off
Yeah.
and he's like, all jacked up.
He's like, yeah. They're like, ah.
My favorite part, and we'll get into it because he kind of explains what's going on, is when they bring the video out,
Yes.
which is so upbeat.
Yes.
That lady's like, yeah, so try to stay alive.
Yeah, somebody's got a surprise, and she's like dabbing and shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Before
no,
there was dabbing.
yeah. I thought that was so like
was
funny.
great.
And he's like, "Hey, stand up, hey!" And he's clapping and telling them all to do it.
And I love the two girls that are talking. He's like, whatever her name is, quiet. And they start talking again, and he just throws the knife, lands it right in her head. I was like, dang.
That's when everybody's like, "Holy shit!"
He's serious.
Yeah, and he's like, "All right, we're all done."
Pay attention.
Yeah, he grabs the knife out, and I'm like, "Ah!" He's like, "Pay attention."
Well, because the one kid that stabbed him ends up getting stabbed too by Katana.
Yeah, he gets exploded.
Well, he eventually,
Yeah.
First, he stabs him kind of in the leg, like he stabbed him.
Yeah, so he kind of teaches
like,
him a lesson, and that was Home Dude's friend.
Yeah,
the one that they're very close together. That got called back into
that
the school.
they love the same girl
Right.
who loves just Shuya.
And then Shuya, like literally, is it Shuya? Yeah, he's a main dude. After the whole like weird video thing, because we get the explanation, there's zones.
Right.
And I guess the teacher picks the zones that are going to be...
They rotate on which ones you're not allowed to be in.
Right.
And if you're in there, your head will explode from the collar.
Yes.
And he also explains that if, like, within the 3-day time limit, if there's not only one left, all the rest of the people will just be exploded.
Yeah, everybody's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, if there's even 6 left, all 6 are going to die.
And he explains it that they turn these zones on to make it smaller battlefield as you get less people, which makes sense.
Yes, yeah.
Or you're just going to sit around waiting for, like,
Yeah.
this guy that's building a fort
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's only, what did they say, like 2 miles?
Maybe something like that.
4 miles, something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just some weird island off the coast that's got facilities everywhere,
Yeah.
houses and schools and shit. Just kind of weird. And yeah, she explains that they're gonna get a bag full of provisions, and then a bag full of weapons.
No, it was one bag that they get. They get to take their bag especially because girls may need other things.
That's right.
But then they also get one bag that will have water in it, and it does have some provisions in it, and then it has one special weapon.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that in quotes, weapon.
Yeah. It could be
because
anything.
It's just a tool, I guess.
Yeah. And it's for other people to collect, pretty much, right?
Well, sure. I mean, as you're killing people, but
Yeah.
like some people get Uzis, some people get handguns, some people get knives, some people get stun guns, some people get pot lids
Yeah. And binoculars.
and binoculars, and that would be our main characters.
Right. So,
So Shuya and Noriko, that's all they get
right.
is a pot lid
And some binoculars.
and binoculars.
But the way that they let them out is they go by order.
Right. They all have numbers.
They all
assigned to
have
them.
numbers, so
like boys 5, girl 5.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's just boy, girl.
Right.
And they throw them their bags and everything like that, and they're like, go. And they're like yelling at the big dude, the first one. He's like, he's just kind of running out of nowhere. And then
He gets a crossbow, by the way.
yeah, it was pretty bitching. And they finally, the transfer students, because they introduce them, they say, hey, these are your transfer students.
They
blah,
look
blah, blah.
dangerous, don't they?
Yeah. And they did,
Yeah.
compared to them. So then, the Shuya finally gets outside
Right.
after
And-
all of that.
And Noriko was behind him, right?
Yes, like the next person. And then also, too, both of the transfer students go before that, too.
Right.
Because the first transfer student, he's like, fuck it, I'm going to take my time, No, he's the second
Shogo.
one. Yeah, Shogo runs up and he's like, give it to me.
And he runs like he's running and then just stops and starts walking.
And then he comes back and he's like, this ain't my bag. Boom. Grabs another one because he looked inside of it. He was looking for his weapon. And they kind of laugh because the other transfer student's like, whatever. Yo, man.
I'm too cool for school.
I got white hair and a suit jacket. Doc Martens. So, yeah, he finally gets outside, right? And the first thing he sees, because he kind of ducks behind a rock, he sees another one of the students walking towards him.
Right.
But she's like, what's going on? And she's got a freaking arrow through her neck.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's all the way through. She's like, I don't know what's going on. And she like, boom, falls right in front of him. And he's like, holy crap. She gets another one in the leg.
Right. And then he's like, crap, I got to move.
Gotta run. And then homegirl comes out. The one that he's technically in love with, the one that he vows to protect, you know, because of his best friend, you know, he's like, I'm going to protect you no matter what.
Which really, he loves her. And
Yeah.
she loves him.
Yeah. So the big dude at the top of the little hill there, like, takes a tumble. He like falls, takes a tumble, rolls all the way down the hill. And that other student comes up and is like, is this your crossbow? He's like, yeah. And he starts running at him all frantically, like, oh! Yeah. He gets that arrow straight to the chest. He's
Yes,
like,
he
"Whoa!"
does.
And he stands straight up and then like, bam. So, all right. And they do that cool little countdown thing.
Right.
To where they show which student died, and what number they were and everything like that.
Yeah, and you'll get that throughout the like announcents almost, like
Yeah.
the high school announcements.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like 40 to go, you know? And
Right.
so everybody's splitting up, everybody's doing their shit. What was the next kill?
So I was trying to think if we saw this. Well, the next kill was the one where he accidentally killed the guy with the hatchet or whatever, right?
Well, that's a little bit.
Was that a little bit later?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first 6 hours, there's 12 deaths.
Right.
And there's 4 of them that are suicide, right? They basically, that night they're like picking on the foreign exchange or the exchange student, you know what I mean? The white-haired one.
Oh, okay.
He's down on they're like on the water.
The transfer student?
Yeah, the transfer student, exchange student, whatever. Yeah, he's from America. He's the only American one. But yeah, there's like 6 of them, right?
Yeah,
And they got that Uzi, right? And he just turns it on them.
Yeah, like real quick and kills all of them.
He just grabs all their shit.
Yep. And
He's like, later,
cool
dude.
Stuff.
So then we get the next day, basically. They're still running, kind of going everything. And then because is this before the suicides? That was after the suicides.
After the suicides.
The 2 people, they're walking with each other, and the one kid's the girl's like, I ain't gonna fucking play this game. Throws her weapons in her bag, and then the other one's like, and the guy's like, oh, I don't want. She just grabs his hands like, let's go, and they both jump off the cliff and die.
Right.
So there are 2 of the suicides right there.
Well, and you had the 2 people that he killed, that the teacher killed.
Right.
In there, so that counted. It started.
Yeah.
A little late
because he got those 2. He got then there is the girl with the crossbow. Then there's the portly kid, and then there's the 2 suicides. But then we get into, because Shuya and everybody, they're still running around, right? They're still kind of getting.
Well, then don't we see Mitsuko that first day kill somebody too?
Yes,
she kills that other girl
in this. Looking at the photos.
Yes,
she goes into that one
she
place.
Uses that commosicle. It's like a little hut they have, or a little building that they found that was
right. But she wasn't one of the popular girls,
right?
And that was one of the cheerleader girls that she goes in on,
right?
And like she starts shaking, like, stop! Like, this is my weapon, you know. Got her in a headlock and shit with it. And
then her weapon was the stun gun.
Yeah. So she takes it from her.
Yeah, as you do.
She's like, yoink. And then she tells him that she killed the other 2 people.
Right. She goes, does she say that she killed them? She says something about them.
They're hanging next door.
But she says something about them. It's almost as if maybe she killed them, but I don't think there's they really 100% say.
Yeah, I think she takes credit for
that. You know what I mean?
She takes credit for it, saying that they're dead next door, so you're next, you know. And she's pretty wicked. But we get to find out why, you know. For one, she's not like part of the cheerleading squad.
Well, and she had a pretty rough go of it.
Rough childhood there.
Because it's the next day is where he rolls down the hill with the dude and sticks him with the axe gets stuck in his head.
Home dude has the axe and he starts coming after him, and then he's like, why are you doing this? And he thinks, he's like, did I kill him?
Right.
And then the nerd pops up, right? And he's like, 34 squared 12 is pi. And it's like, what the fuck is that dude saying? And he's like 6 feet away and he can't shoot him with a freaking magnum.
No,
You know what I mean?
he's no good.
So, of course.
Well, he gets shot by Shogo, right?
Yeah, the transfer student gets blasting with a shotgun.
So the other transfer student,
Yes.
not the one that shot everybody with the Uzis.
The
That's
good one.
Kaura?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Kaoru or something like that.
Something.
Yeah.
And then the one we're talking about, though, is Shogo.
Yeah, it's got the bandana. He's got the shotgun. He shoots that dude from like 15 feet away.
Yeah, he's badass.
Nails him with it.
Nailed
All
it.
of them. Yeah. And then he's running up the hill charging him and he shoots him again.
Yeah.
So he's like, fucking get out of here. He's like, what weapons do you have?
Well, no, but even before that, we get the girls that are up there like, hey, we want peace.
No, that's right after.
Oh, is that right
yeah.
after? Okay.
Yeah, because he's like, what weapons do you have? And he's like, I got a
a
pontlet.
pontlet. She's got binoculars.
Yeah. And then then
you
he
guys are
like,
fucked.
yeah, you guys are screwed
You want
later.
to die together or something. What's he say? He makes a comment about
Yeah,
that.
it's something like,
You should go kill yourselves
yeah,
or
you should go
something.
kill yourselves because you're not fit for this. Right. And they're like, what the fuck, right? And then you start hearing the megaphone chicks, right? So they go and they hide behind the tree and they're like, oh, he starts like, oh, let's go over there. They're going to be
and
cool.
there's two girls. They're on megaphones and they're like, hey, we just want peace. We can work this out together. We can figure out what's going on. We don't want to do all this killing.
Yeah.
And they're like, and Shuya's like, yeah.
Yeah, let's
Well,
go.
I don't want to kill people either. I want to hang out with all the girls.
Yeah. Well, homegirl's got the slash on her arm too.
Yeah.
Because they have that little bitty part where, because she got cut by the teacher, didn't she? At the very beginning, where does she get her cut on her arm that gives her the fever and everything like that? I think that's even before they get outside or some crazy shit
Was
like
it?
that, right? Yeah.
I don't remember.
So because we
Seen
get
this
that
movie
scene
a lot too, and I don't remember.
Yeah, because they get that scene where they're in there and he like dumps the water on her arm, kind of cleans up her wound and everything.
So that's where they kind of head next because we see the other transfer student gun those girls down.
Yeah.
Well, we hear it and then we see it, and
because
that's where he puts his foot on her and then like takes the megaphone and blows it off and then puts her up against, like puts the megaphone up to her and you can hear her like whining a little bit and then he just blasts her with a
he's the only good
weapon.
Shot out of all of them, you know,
well,
with an
it's
automatic.
a transfer student thing.
Yeah.
They must have transferred from shooting school.
I guess. Right.
Well, these other kids are like 14 or something.
Right.
You know.
So there is like a little bitty spot where, because Home Dude decides, hey, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
You know, because he's yelling.
And that's like right there. Yeah. That's when they escape to the. Well, he tells them to split up and to meet him there, right?
I don't remember if he says
right.
meet up. I think it just they happen to.
Yeah,
because
they split up there, but they don't contend to meet up.
Right.
I think you're right.
They split up and then she passes out because she's got a fever because of her wound.
Right.
So he's got her on his shoulder plus the bags and everything like that because they got to get out of that zone.
Right.
So they go to the little bitty house or hut or whatever the hell that thing
Turns
was.
out to be like a little med hut.
Right.
Yeah.
And he actually hits the little cans, you know, the Bigfoot trap.
Right.
It's like,
the little early warning system.
yeah, and he's like, crap.
And it's Shogo.
Yeah.
Again, and he's like, come on.
Yeah, my dad's a doctor.
His dad does a lot of things.
Yeah.
We'll find out. In
Yeah,
this,
his
which I
dad's a
love.
cook. His dad's
It's like
a doctor.
the Joker origin. You don't really know what's right.
Exactly, right? Of course, we still don't know who he really is.
Right.
So he grabs some rice, he cooks some rice, and then, you know, I mean, that's their kind of like little fortress, you know? They still don't have any decent weapons, I'm pretty sure, because...
Well, except for the shotgun.
Well, he's got the shotgun, plus he's got the handgun, because he took it from the
he's got
nerd.
both of them, yeah.
Foursquare.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Foursquare. My ram hurts. This is where we get to see the computer dudes first, right?
Right.
It's about the same time because the computer dudes are like trying to do something.
Yeah, they're like, we're figuring out a way to get around all this. Like,
Yes.
They start, actually, at one point, we will see them kind of take the system for a minute.
Yeah, have a great
Yeah.
great idea, and then some dude's like, screw you. But yeah, because they're like bringing in stuff. They're bringing in propane tanks and everything, or the generator. 'Cause they have a generator that they start up, and gets on the computer, and he's in this hacking program or something like that. And dude's cooking, like he's like,
He's typing fool.
no, he's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That shit like kicks ass, and he's like, we're gonna do this, and some dude like who's the one guy that left? It was Shuya, right? That leaves the girl because she's passed out, right? And then home dude, whatever. The other transfer student, the good transfer student, yeah, they're both together, and he sees them, doesn't he? He sees the hackers and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, okay.
Well, no, he leaves, doesn't he?
Yeah, he leaves for some reason.
Yeah, to go talk to them.
Yeah.
Because he had heard, somebody had said something at some point.
Yeah, and then he goes to find them. He finds them. He finds out what they're going to do, and he's like, cool, I'm going to go back.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and then we have the part where Mitsuko is she's confronted by the other cheerleader girl right here.
Yeah.
And
Didn't she have the gun?
Yeah.
She's like, you killed her. He's like, she wasn't on her period.
Yeah, like sleuthing around.
Yeah, I checked her. Whoa, you started yesterday. You know, they had to kind of throw that foreshadowing in at the very beginning to kind of explain that right there,
True.
which, like
Makes
you said,
sense.
it's like a super sleuth shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So she eventually turns a gun on her, right? And then ends up getting her. Plus she gets that gun. She's like a wicked.
She gets the gun and then she shoots what? She shoots her like twice, right?
Think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, basically.
And then you have that kid that, this is where you have the one guy's girlfriend. Like the whole time that other guy's trying to get to his girlfriend.
Yes.
The tall kid.
Yes.
And
he's the one that visits.
And that's the girl that plays
Go-Go.
Go-Go.
Yeah.
And where that boy comes down, he's like, oh, we were together that one time and all that.
Yeah.
And he's real creepy. And what's he got? He's got the kid's crossbow.
Yeah, he's the one that took the crossbow. Yeah.
So, and he fires it and it like kind of grazes her.
Yeah, it hits her cheek, and because she does that little running bit where she's like working out in the morning.
Yeah.
And even
that's what she knows. She's like a track kid.
Yeah, and even one of the one badass nonconformist chick, she's like doing her eyebrows and shit the next day. You know what I mean? It's like
it's what you know.
You gotta look good.
I guess.
You gotta look good when you're killing.
But man, she messes him up. She stabs him like a bunch of times.
Well, he's
like in the back, like she stabs him at him a couple of times, like swinging.
Yeah.
But then, like when she's on top of him, damn.
Yeah, she's like,
stabs him right in the crotch, dude.
Yeah, I know. She's like, well, because he tells her, well, I could just take it.
Yeah.
She's like, what? What did you just say to me? Because apparently she was like seeing some other girl. And she was like, what? You don't even have the balls to sleep with another woman or something like that. That's what he says.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the did you say to me? Say that again.
And then when she kills him, who shows up? Mitsuko, who is like the most evil girl out of it.
Yes.
Her and the other transfer, the bad transfer student.
Those are the evil ones.
Those are definitely the antagonists, the major antagonists. And she shoots her in the back like a bunch of times while she's running away.
Yeah.
And then her boyfriend shows up like while she's dying.
Just to watch her die. And they're like on one of those causeways or something like that. And she's dying. Yeah. And like, no.
Use bastards.
So basically, Shuya comes back, right, and he finds both of them, right. So she wakes up, but yet he still, because he takes a knife from her or something like that, because she's sleeping with the knife or something. The other, they're eating and blah blah blah, right. So home dude's going through and like wiping everybody out, right.
And is this where he explains that he'd been there before?
Yes.
He kind of like, I've already done this.
Yeah, he finally tells him, I was a winner of season 12.
Right.
You know?
And then they came and got me to do this, basically. Like, he didn't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah, they just came and got him because I guess he was still a juvenile.
Still a badass that made it through it once. That seems like a bad deal.
Right. Kind of weird.
But he volunteered
So
because he wanted to come back and take down the whole situation.
Right,
That's
right,
what
right.
it was.
He wanted to win again because Shuya has already gone to the lighthouse because he gets bandaged all up in the lighthouse with the other cheerleaders, right?
Yeah.
And he wakes up.
The one cheerleader that's real creepy about him.
Yeah.
She's like a perv.
Yeah, it's pretty
He's
weird.
Like, you stop touching me.
and they're making food and stuff like that. And then that one girl just like, she sneaks in the freaking poison to one of the other girls.
No, that was intended for Shuya because that was the girl that saw him. Like, she was in the bushes earlier when the axe went in the dude's head, and she thought that Shuya had done that.
So she was going to
She
take
was
him
like,
out.
"No, I'm gonna want this with my people." And then the other girl just walks in and starts eating it.
Yeah, she's like, cool, it's mine first.
And that girl, if you notice, that girl just fades into the back. She's like,
yeah, she kind of like hides and everything, and the other girl's like, and starts just like
coughing up blood.
Yeah, and just like throwing up blood. She dies, and then we get the other.
Then the girls go mad.
Yeah, the mean girl comes in there and kicks everybody's ass, starts shooting everybody, right? Because she's like, nobody liked me. And then
Is that where we get her story, or is that earlier that we got her story?
I think it's later.
Later?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she basically jumps out. The one that does the poisoning, she runs to the edge of the dill. Shuya's like, hey, stop, no. And she just jumps off of the lighthouse.
Okay, yeah.
She's the one that kills herself like that too.
Yeah.
So that's when he goes back to find Noriko and Kawada. And and then is this because it turns night pretty soon, and this is where we get the one because it's raining that night. Second night it's raining.
Oh, well, we're way past the second night.
Oh,
at this
are we?
point, yeah.
Oh.
Or no.
Yeah,
We're not.
so I think it's the second night where they were basically like,
So this is where we get that thing with Mitsuko though first before that happened, same day. But remember, Mitsuko's with that dude and that other girl, and then she kills them.
I think so.
There's like, and they kind of show her getting dressed.
Yes,
because she had sex with them.
Did she? Yeah, because
they're
both
inferred.
Yeah, they're both naked,
right?
And she like kills them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is weird because I was always like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah, they're all naked in a pool. That's weird.
Yeah.
But she's got like a sack full of a duffel bag full of heads now.
Right.
You know, at this point, so she's probably killed like what 10 people, 15 people.
Yeah, and so Report 7, which came out at 6 p.m. on day 2, is what gives us where all those girls died. The ones that with the poison and all that. So that was right before all that.
Right.
Because they all die. All the girls die. They kill each other for the most part. Yeah.
Right. So this is where Home Dude he's chasing the dudes and he's jumping off of their little hut that they're in, and he does the anime jump with the sword slash. He's like, Saya!
And who does he kill?
God, who was it? Was it because it wasn't the nerds? They were hacking everything. I forgot who it was, but he kills like 3 people because he drops a gun and Home Dude's like, ha ha, but he's on the top and he just grabs a sword and it's like, bunk, bunk, bunk. You know, and he just jumps and kills him. And they're inside the whole time that's happening, but just kind of hiding out. Mm-hmm. And he comes to the door and he starts trying to open the door and he puts his bloody hand on everything, you know, and then he throws in the fucking head.
Yeah.
It's like, but doesn't the head also have a grenade in it?
Yeah.
So
and that's the boys that are hacking, right? Because Shinji, who is the main one.
Yeah. So they're still working on their stuff. Right. He hasn't found them yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is before that.
Yeah. So he comes, right? So basically he goes over to those dudes, pretty sure, right? And kills all of them, right? Because they have the truck. It's like a bomb,
Right.
right?
Well, yeah. So yeah, they're finishing up. They're ready to go, right? Isn't that the deal? They're like he's like, let's go.
He's got the
Hit
trigger.
the button. He's got the thing that he needs, the trigger.
They've taken everything. They've taken over the computer system, so they're waiting for the reboot.
Right. And that's when Kazuya, or whatever his name is, comes in and just starts killing people.
Yeah, he starts mowing them down. So he kills the two dudes that were like the smart dude, the main hacker dude. He kills those two guys like right in front of him. So the other guy's like, screw it, starts running towards the truck.
And that's
everything.
Shinji, I think. He's the main guy.
Yeah.
The main hacker kid.
And so he comes
One
out.
that talks about is whoever his dad or somebody worked for something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like the.
But he does something on the truck, right?
Yeah,
to
well,
make it explode.
Yeah, he has the trigger on the truck because they were going to drive
that's
the
right.
truck straight into that
the
deal,
thing, yeah.
and the trigger was going to hit because Home Dude had the detonator.
That's right.
That was the detonator because he was like a liberation fighter or something. He had it in his cross or something like that. He's
Right.
like, hey, I got this,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, all right. So they created the bomb. They did everything because they had the bomb making fanzine.
Yeah.
It was a bomb making fanzine book.
Poor man's James Bond book.
Right. But Home Dude comes with the machine gun, wipes them all out, gets him too because he charges him. So he keeps trying to run back to the truck and trigger the bomb, but he got knocked down like twice with bullets. Finally, he hits it and it just explodes for no reason.
Right.
I was like, just man, tell him.
Right.
Like, I know you killed me, but you want to win. Just do this. The truck's ready to go.
So but this all takes place after he kills Mitsuko. All of this piece takes place after he kills Mitsuko.
Yeah.
Which took place right after the lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
Because our really bad transfer student, Kazuo, like he shoots her a bunch. Like a lot.
Yeah.
And then she dies. And she's one of our main like antagonists. So because we're starting to get lower every day on how many people are left. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or every report. So I just wanted to let everybody know that she is now gone. She is off the board. But then what happens? So we're in the...
So it's just the explosion, right?
Right, yeah. So he explodes the truck trying to kill basically the bad guy, the bad transfer student. But he ends up dying himself, of course.
Right.
And guess who doesn't come? Guess who comes walking out of the fire like a badass?
It's him, but he's blinded.
Yeah, but we don't know that at first.
No.
All you see is kind of his shadow and coming out, and you're like, oh shit.
He's a bad dude.
And he's not looking back in the flames.
Yeah.
Because he's a badass. Nope, it's because he's blind.
And
the explosion just wiped out his eyes.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Kind of gave him some scratches.
Mm-hmm.
Scratches on his face.
But he can't see nothing.
And this is the night of the third day, too.
Second day.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't even make it. Well, it's like 4:30.
They don't make it to day 3, really.
Yeah, it's like 4:30 in the morning. Day 3 is the end. So so then they get into the because Home Dude's got the tracker, right? He eventually gets the tracker from him.
Right, that was earlier.
Yeah, that was earlier. Yeah.
Well, at this part, basically, it's Shogo goes and kills.
Supposedly, because they have microphones on the actual collars. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying he kills the other transfer student.
Yeah, he gets him.
Yeah, he shoots the shit out of him.
Yeah, and then
shoots him in the leg first, right?
Yeah. That's one of the parts that I didn't
get
to see.
And then he shoots him in the collar, and his head explodes.
Yeah. So he's gone. They basically, the tracking devices are like fucking nullified, but we don't know this yet, right? Because what is his name? Boom Boom.
Boom Boom.
No, the good transfer student.
Oh, Shogo.
Shogo basically gives the illusion that he kills both of them.
Kills our main protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he hears it, the main, the teacher hears it
Right.
up there, and he's like, okay, we're done. He's even a badass home dude's like, hey, I want a cookie. And he's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like swats his hand and shit.
That weird dream sequence thing with him and her.
Yeah. It's like there was an implied relationship or something like that.
But there wasn't, like, it's...
She loved him or something like that.
I don't think that's the case.
Or there was like a father-daughter type of a thing.
Something weird.
They're
yeah.
like eating freaking popsicles and like jumping over
But I don't
puddles.
think any of that ever happened. That was just a dream she had.
Right,
She's
right.
like, I just think he's sad.
Just like he was having all those basketball ones
Right.
too. All the memories of them playing basketball, and then him being in the gym by himself, looking down with the chair, and then the ball bounces up, and he's like, "Take care of her," And what? That's fucked up.
Weird.
So of course, they go grab. Home dude comes back, and what's his name? The good kid.
The transfer student?
Yes,
Shogo.
Shogo has apparently won. They're like, game's over.
Yep.
They're like, don't you want to check? And it's like, no, game's over. Get out of here.
Yeah, he sends everybody away.
They all load up into the helicopter and everything like that.
And he just waits for Shogo to show up.
Shogo shows up. He's like, hey, you did a good job. I'm like, doesn't he give him something to drink or something like that?
Yeah.
He's like, I know that
Some
you...
peanuts.
Yeah. Yeah, here you go. Here's some peanuts. Waponi woo. I don't know. But yeah, so they basically are sitting there having their little deal. He's like, hey, I know you cheated. They're not dead. Where are they? I know you disabled, you know how to disable the
And
freaking-
Shogo's kind of fucked up, too, because he got, like, in that fight, even though the dude was blind, like,
Yeah.
he kind of fucks him up a little bit.
He got shot, I think.
Yeah.
So like in the side or something like that. So basically that's why he's like, I want to win. So he takes him out and everything, or you think so. And so of course, home dude's sitting there and he's got the gun on him, but they walk through.
Right.
The two other people, the one that has promised to take care of the other one.
Shuya?
Yeah.
Or
Sh-
now I can't say it.
Shuya.
Shuya, thank you.
Shuya and Noriko.
Yes.
Yes. So Shuya and Noriko are both like foobarred, pretty much. They come in and he's like, see, I told you, and then somehow he gets shot. Beat Takashi does.
Oh, yeah. Shuya shoots him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shoots him, right? And
He kills him.
yeah, like basically falls down and he points a gun at him and it's a freaking water pistol.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to die.
Yeah, he set himself up to be taken out, basically.
Yes.
You come to find out.
Right. So then they're sitting there. They're just like, what the hell? The phone starts ringing. Home dude gets up like
nothing happened.
No shit. That was like the
Shogo?
coolest. He's like, huh?
Because he's all jacked up, and you're thinking, oh, man.
He's not getting up.
Right.
But
he
he's-
just gets up like
yeah.
nothing happened.
Like he just woke up from a dream or something. He's like, let's go. And he sits down. He's like, I don't think I'm going to be home because he's having this troubled relationship with his own daughter. She's
Right.
like, whatever, I hate you. He's like, you got to hate something.
Oh, you're talking about, okay. You're
Yeah.
talking about
Cause
Katano.
Yeah, they have that
not
really...
Shogo. But you're right. He gets up and like nothing happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let me get this phone real quick.
Yeah. And it's over with pretty much at that point.
Yeah, I mean, we see Shogo kind of the good transfer student. He's like all fucked up from his fight.
Yeah.
And then the next thing we see is them in a boat.
Yeah. They're on a big boat too.
Yeah.
And home dude's like, yeah, my dad's a he was a captain.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But then he grabs a cigarette, and because he's cool. And he literally because he's in high school now,
Yeah.
So he sits
He's a
down on the
senior.
back. Yeah, he sits down on the the back poop deck.
Yeah.
And starts smoking a cigarette, and then he passes away.
Right.
So the very next thing that you get to see is they're wanted as fugitives, for some reason.
Right. But
You know.
because they didn't die.
Yeah,
They didn't win.
they broke the rules.
Yeah. So they're like walking around. He's got his hat pulled down, and she's like getting food or whatever
Yeah.
she's getting.
Yeah, they're doing something,
Yeah.
and because they're hopping on a train or something like that to go somewhere else.
They're getting the hell out of
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah, they were leaving, which would be smart,
Yes, that's what I would do as well. But
go somewhere
apparently,
else.
I haven't seen Battle Royale 2, but Shuya is the main character. And
Oh, he comes
so I wonder if he's a transfer student.
wonder.
Huh.
Or I wonder if they catch him and then kill her.
I don't know the story.
Maybe.
So, first time seeing the movie, what'd you think, bro?
Fucking bitchin'.
Yeah.
Really? That's a 9 out of 10 bitchins for me.
Nice.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, it was really awesome.
Like the one thing that never gets through in these, really, I love the way this movie was filmed.
Yeah.
I love and that's one thing I will say, watching it this time was a little bit different. Because one, it was dubbed, but also if you watch it on Tubi, it has commercials.
Yeah.
And it really does lose the intensity.
Takes away from
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's not so linear. It's not
Exactly.
so, like, right there.
It's
That's
coming, you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Because I was getting that feeling whenever it was breaking up, and I was like, man, well, I might as well pause it. I got to go back to work.
So if you have Amazon, watch it on that. I'm sure that's full whatever. I will have to definitely get you that disc, sir, so you can have the original version. I don't know what version they're playing on Amazon. But yeah, I would give this definitely, I think 9 out of 10 is pretty solid. I don't know what more they could have done for it. Everything was filmed really well. Like you said, the computer animation blood kind of thing.
You can tell.
But it was done well.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't stupid, you know what I mean? But yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see a bunch of people die, that's for sure. Short span of time. So this is pre-Hunger Games. This is like not futuristic. This is not like technology, really.
Technically, it is a dystopian future,
Yes,
but not
yes.
in the same way, because it's just like Japan's economy is crushed.
Yeah, it's not in the far-flung, distant future.
Yeah, but they're like, all the kids are juvenile assholes, and they decide, hey, just let them kill each other off. We don't need young people anymore.
Well, if we do this every now and again, maybe they'll be nicer.
Yeah. Which is weird. And you know what? And the thing is I think this one is another universally enjoyed movie, liked movie, highly rated for a lot of people.
Sure.
So, which, of course, I don't know why I never decided to watch it.
I think there's plenty of movies where I'm like, everyone's told me how great this is. People I trust. It's well received, and I still haven't watched it. So I totally understand that. But I'm glad you got to watch this because it's such a great movie.
Shit, yeah. No, I mean, seeing Go-Go on there, I was like, man, yeah, that's why Tarantino loves this shit. It's badass.
No, I think that's why she was in his movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just badass,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing there's so many of these Japanese, these early 2000 Japanese and Korean films that are just really great. It's kind of, even though I go back to the samurai movies all the time.
Sure.
Because those were really great. There was a good period of that. And then you go back to the Shaw years.
I was going to say, I think that like in Asian films in general, there's definitely some good runs in there. Just some good creators.
Yeah.
And
it seems to be, well, I mean, it's the same way in America too, because you have these creators that really do very, 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 very awesome like runs.
Sure.
You got a 10-year period. 15-year period. There's just crazy shit,
Absolutely.
And they're all so freaking, I don't know, they're just so good. Done a lot of good shit.
Yeah, it's some good shit, man.
Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch the regular version.
Yeah.
I really am, because again, the dubbing was just weird to me, probably because that wasn't a version I'd seen. You know what I mean? Like if I had grown up with not grown up, but you know what I mean? If I had seen those originally, the dub version,
Think you probably would have stuck
I would have
with
been
it.
like, oh, this is cool. But not seeing that and just seeing the original, I think for some reason it threw it off a little bit for me.
I can see
and
that.
stupid Tubi commercials. I can't complain. I mean, they give you just free movies all the time.
I know.
And I own the movie, but I just couldn't climb to get to it. It's just really sad in my own house, but truth.
Yeah.
As I tell everybody, they're stuck behind the paywall.
It's just, yeah, it's a great movie. I want to watch it again and probably watch it again, to really kind of get to know it, because there's a lot of really cool shit in it. There's a lot of, I don't know, good story, and it's really reminiscent to me for Evangelion, 100%.
Sure.
I mean, I see it and I'm like, oh man, they just need giant robots, which aren't robots.
It's true.
Yeah, that's just some crazy shit,
It's crazy. Like, so they said they had 6,000 actors audition for the film, narrowed it down to 800. And then those people were subjected to 6-month period of physical fitness training, who eventually cast 42 out of the 800.
And most of them did their own stunts too.
Yeah. Well, hence the physical fitness training.
Mm-hmm. Had to.
But isn't that crazy that you put 800 people in that, and then you're like, okay, I'll take you 42. Weird.
They're like, well, I'll get another role. There's enough.
I'm sure they got paid for taking the, something.
Yes. Yeah. They're probably all school kids that needed extra money.
And Kitano, that's actually his real last name too, by the way, is Kitano.
Nice.
But I didn't know he was a comedian as well.
I know he had a
Japanese
game show or something like that.
I guess.
Yeah. He's probably one of the dudes that was on like their version of was the obstacle course game that like slaps people and shit. You got to fit through a hole.
Oh yeah,
full of like it was like
out.
Yeah. It was like adult double dare.
Ninja Warrior.
Adult double dare. Put your hand in the nose and pull the booger with the freaking flag in it. Dude, I would have cleaned house on Double Dare. I hated watching that show. Because I'd be like, man, if you give me 5 seconds on Double Dare, I'm going to rule that shit. And those kids are like, I don't know where the booger is. Where's the flag? Get it, you stupid son of a... That's what I think of Double Dare. Awesome show. But yeah, that's our episode on Battle Royale. I thought that was a very great movie. I can't wait to watch it again. And I hope you like it out there, that if you're listening. And sorry, it was a little bit discombobulated.
There's a lot that went on in a row
lot,
there.
Yeah,
but I think we got it back on track, though, pretty quickly.
There's a lot to digest in that movie.
Yeah, well, and it's not... Obviously, I mean, if you want to dig deep into tone and, like, the message, obviously it's like...
Yeah.
Totalitarian government.
Yes.
Yes.
Where it could possibly end up one of these days.
Absolutely.
I could see it happening.
As long as you got your vaccine card, you're fine. Well, with that, you can hit us up on dropculture.com. You can email us at droppedculturepodcast@gmail.com. Let us know, one, if you'd never seen this movie and you watched it after this or before it, let us know what you thought of the movie. Two, if you've seen it and you have some other insights that you'd like to share, feel free to share that with us as well.
Yes.
And you can also do that at all the socials we always talk about, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to hear it at the very beginning.
Yeah. You already heard that stuff.
Rewind it.
So we'll say it again.
Yeah. So with that, that's the end of the Drop Culture episode for this week.
That's right. Peace.
Thank you.